Feel good.
Rafi doesn't feel good.
Hola, you amazing artists. Where do I show my art?
Where, oh where
Do I
show my art?
Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
One of the most confusing things for artists when they're first planning on starting their art career is where do they show their art? Typically, a lot of artists think, well, if I could get my work into a gallery, then I'll be able to show my art to the world. Unfortunately, if you're going to wait for a gallery to display your art, you might be waiting for a long time.
Especially if that gallery's all, where have you shown before? And you're like, I'm trying to show for the first time. Who will have me?
So I have a question from John Brony. What do you recommend for a place to show work? I used to do Facebook, but I had a Farmville habit that I had to give up. Well, Farmville habits aside, so in order to answer your question, I'm going to run you through how I got started as far as having an art career. It's not the typical story of young artist gets out of art school and then gets found by a gallery and becomes uber successful. I used to think that the story of an artist was this epic adventure full of trials and tribulations and years of starvation, and then finally they get discovered by a wealthy patron or a prestigious art gallery that just wants to promote this artist into fame and prosperity.
Or the King of Spain.
And maybe that's how it used to be back in the old days. I started my art career in a way that is not typical to the story of an artist, but it's my first place to show your art. Number 1. The flea market. Yep, that's right. In my opinion, if you are a young artist who is afraid of showing your work to the public, show it at a flea market, because you don't run into polite society, you run into people who voice their opinions.
It's terrifying and horrible and glorious, and you'll look back on it with fond memories of how you told that one NASCAR fan that it's not important if he doesn't like your artwork.
The flea market may not be for everybody, but if you just want to jump in with both feet and go trial by fire, face those fears that we have that actually keep us from doing those things. So it was a good experience for me. And not only that, I sold some art and was able to build up my confidence.
Try not to walk away from it with a hoard of junk that you don't know what you're going to do with, but it was a good deal.
Oh God. Number 2. Social media. The ability to show our artwork to mass hordes of people on the internet is astounding nowadays with social media. I recommend that you just use all the social medias that you have out there, because why not? It's an opportunity to get your pieces out in front of people, and really it doesn't take that much time. Number 3, farmers market. After a while at the flea market, I determined that I did not want to be a flea market artist. The farmers market that I'm at has produce, antiques, and fine art. So it was a great opportunity to get out in front of people again, and it was a completely different demographic. Number 4, your website. So in order for you to have a concise place on the internet where people could read up about you and specifically go to find information about you, I always recommend that you have some kind of a website.
Yeah, nowadays even people like me can build a website.
Yeah. Number 5, monthly art walks. Now, after I was doing the farmers market for a while, more opportunities started opening up. Certain monthly events that would happen that were in town or just in the adjacent town. So like they had like First Friday art walks, and here in town we have gallery night. So not only were we doing the market on Saturdays, but we were also doing these shows that were happening monthly. Number 6, yearly art fairs. Now at first I was pretty terrified of doing juried art festivals because I was worried that my stuff wasn't good enough. So there are big yearly art fairs you can sign up for and get juried into, and those are a great opportunity. Those are a little bit more expensive than doing the market or doing just like a small festival. I would read reviews online of specific festivals that you're planning on doing from other artists and just kind of get a gist of what you think you might be expecting. But honestly, the best way to find out how the show does for you is by doing it. Number 7, online store. I personally use Etsy, but there are a myriad of shops online that you can show your work in and sell your work. There are several reasons why I don't just have artwork on my own website. One of them is I don't want to be managing artwork on several sites, including my site. And the other thing too is security. I want to make sure that anybody that buys from me, that their information is secure. A company like Etsy has several people that are working in their security department, making sure that hackers don't get their customers' information. Misconception is that like, oh, I'm going to put my stuff online and all of a sudden millions of people are going to see it. No, you put your stuff online, nobody's going to see it. You have to share that stuff and you have to work your online store in order to get people to see it.
I totally thought I was going to be like, here it is, world, and they were going to be like, oh my god, we want your children.
That's
But it turns out it didn't happen that way.
no. Number 8. Coffee shops and restaurants. So another place that I show my art is at several coffee shops and restaurants around town. Do the same thing. Just if you see some empty space on somebody's wall, just ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. Number 9. Galleries. So originally I got into the Blue Morning Gallery, which you needed to jury in for, and it took about a year for me to get in. And I was there for about a year and then decided that that was not the right gallery for me. And then I was asked by the Marty Campbell Gallery if I would display my work there. And so Marty Campbell became my gallery. Typically that's how it works with galleries. Visit the gallery and find out more about the gallery before you just show up with your portfolio, and make sure that you're a good fit for that gallery and that the gallery is a good fit for you. Don't be discouraged if your art doesn't get into a gallery. A lot of times they're just full with their roster, or they have a specific type of art that they're looking for. Don't count on galleries, but also don't write off the galleries. Number 10, group shows. Certain galleries will have call for artists where they have a theme for that month, and they'll have applications where you could actually apply to jury into the show. Those are really cool, and basically you might get 1 to 2 artworks in the show, and that show will run for a month. So that's another opportunity to show your art. Number 11, pop-ups. I have a video on my YouTube channel about doing your own pop-up solo show. That's another way to be able to show your artwork. There is a process that goes into that and preparing for that, and I cover that in that video, but that's another way to be able to show your work. Number 12, juried art exhibition. They're just competitions pretty much that you are applying for to see if you get your artwork into either a magazine or into a gallery that might be showing some artwork somewhere. I could understand if some of these juried art competitions have a jury fee because people do need to get paid to jury the artwork. But that being said, read to make sure that on the grand prize that you're not dishing out a large amount of money after you win in order to benefit from entering this show. That's my only concern. My only thing to look out for is that. Number 13, open studio. So another way that we show our art is that we hold open studios. We have a yearly holiday open studio that we have done for the last 3 years, where we open up our doors and people can come and visit the studio and see where all the magic happens.
Especially if you're offering cookies.
Cookies.
People love cookies.
Make sure you get cookies. Number 14, corporate offices. So I have my pieces hanging up in corporate offices around town. Just like the restaurants and cafes, if you go into a corporate office or just visit one and you notice that they have blank spaces on their walls, contact them and tell them that you're a local artist and that you would love the opportunity to be able to show your work on their walls. It's mutually beneficial. They'll get some artwork on their walls instead of having blank walls, and you'll be able to get to show your work with a little price tag on there. Number 15, yard and art sale. So if you're having any kind of like yard sale or anything like that, that's another opportunity to show your art. When it comes down to it, any opportunity that you have to show your art, we promote them as yard and art sales. So like, here's the stuff that we're trying to get rid of, and here is our artwork. Number 16, studio visits. One of the things that we also offer is for people to be able to come and visit the studio if they're looking to commission us for something, or if they saw something specifically that they wanted to come and pick up.
But I would advise that you don't offer your address on your website and just make it by appointment only, because that way you don't get phone calls like, I'm on my way.
Number 17, portfolio visits. So what I recommend is that you have an updated portfolio at all times. So when you visit somebody who might be interested in buying some of your art, you have some of your most recent work that you could show them. And that's where I'm at so far in my art career. I'm sure that there are a plethora of other places and techniques and things where you could show your art. Either way, getting your stuff out in front of people is ultimately what matters if you want to turn this into a career. Hopefully this was helpful to you, and if it was, give us a thumbs up, por favor. If any of you have any suggestions on where else we could show our art, just leave them in the comments below, because that would be super helpful to me and super helpful to anyone else that's watching this. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are totally freaking amazing. I absolutely adore you. And if you like this video and you want to watch more like this, go ahead and click over here to subscribe. And that's it. Say goodbye, Clee.
Good day.
Adios.